Collect Jurassic. I'm back doing one of my favorite things, which is reviewing new Mattel Jurassic World toys. We finally have some new toys gracing our table today. These are the Sound Strike dinosaurs from Camp Cretaceous, a wave that just hit in the last wave for 2020 as far as Sound Strikes goes. And again, these are all Camp Cretaceous. We have Baryonyx Grim, we have Triceratops, and we also have, oops, wait for him to roar. We also have the Pteranodon as well. And these figures are really cool because they do have that sort of loud, crazy Camp Cretaceous coloration on them, as well as a couple other little cool things that I'll point out. So we'll go ahead and get started reviewing each figure, taking it out of the box and kind of doing comparisons when they're necessary. So yeah, all the figures this time are for Camp Cretaceous, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the Pteranodon here. This is allegedly a Camp Cretaceous release. Interesting enough, in season 1 we did watch Pteranodons in season 1, but I don't remember seeing one of this paint color. So a little interesting that they're choosing to call this Camp Cretaceous, but here it is. I mean, it says it on the box, and they certainly have held back this year calling all dinosaurs Camp Cretaceous. So this one, but this one is released under the Camp Cretaceous banner. So there you go. And it is a Sound Strike figure with that primal attack. I don't know if you can see here on the box, the primal attack action, which we'll demonstrate once we get it out. But here it is with the nice Camp Cretaceous background and everything. On the back, we have the sort of illustration of how the actions work with the 2 buttons. We also have a peek of that card here. I'm going to try to open one of these on camera. No promises. I've opened a million of them on camera. I figured I would just have one ready to go, but I can't find one. So we'll go ahead and open one of these too. Also in the box, you have the little tiny insets of the other figures in the line, which we have here on the table, Grim and Triceratops. So let's go ahead and get this one out of the box. Just a couple snips and we should be ready to go. One thing I wanted to point out too was just getting these things out of the, before I even opened it, I noticed that it was rubbing on the shipping box right here. You can kind of see it was rubbing and the paint was already rubbed off. It's kind of a bummer because, you know, normally these Pteranodon figures don't have paint there, so there's no paint rub. But in this case, they chose to put paint there and it rubbed off, which is always kind of a bummer to get a brand new figure and it's already got like paint coming off of it. So not thrilled about that. But otherwise, it emerged from the box unscathed. So here it is, taking out its whole wingspan. That's the Pteranodon. This figure in and of itself has been retooled a few times. It's already been repainted and released for Primal Attack once, but this is obviously a Camp Cretaceous variant. So this figure in itself is not all new. As far as the Primal Attack goes, it's the same as the figure before it, which is 2 buttons, all of which activate sound. We have the flying, which is actually kind of cool versus some of the dual attack Pteranodons we had before, where the flapping motion was kind of like, I don't know. This one just looks cool how it, see how it kind of like the wings kind of go under it. It just has sort of a dual joint mechanism that looks really nice. And of course the other button is the beak. You can see those teeth in there. I know people take issue with the Pteranodon having teeth. It seems like every Jurassic Pteranodon figure we've gotten for the past few years has had teeth, but other than that, it's the same figure as before. It's just that paint coloration that's different, and the paint coloration on this one is definitely vibrant. I mean, we have, you know, sort of like a peak of yellow on the beak and on the crest here, but everywhere else, it's sort of like this orangey red coloration that's definitely makes it, you know, very vibrant and really fits in with all the other Camp Cretaceous stuff, as you'll see in their next figure even more so. Just sort of those wild sort of animated colors. Even if it didn't actually show up in the show looking like this, it's kind of harkens back to that animated style. But yeah, not much more I can say about the this latest Camp Cretaceous Pteranodon other than here it is. It doesn't look like this in the show, but they're still calling it a Camp Cretaceous Pteranodon. So there you have it. Next up, we have the Triceratops, and this one I'm actually pretty excited about. Again, here it is in the packaging with that Camp Cretaceous branding, the Netflix, all that stuff. And then on the back here, we also have, again, the different sort of ways you can use this figure with the tail, how it makes its head move, part of that Primal Attack action. Also have that map again. Let's see if I can remember to take it out of one of these. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the Triceratops in a nutshell. But I really want to get this figure out and get my eyes on it because it's the coloration here that really impresses me. Again, this figure is not new as far as the retool itself. Triceratops has come out many times in the Mattel line, and as far as a Primal Attack version, I think this is the second one we've gotten. I know we've gotten a couple Dual Attack and a couple Roarvors, but this is the second Primal Attack version of Triceratops we have. Again, under the Camp Cretaceous banner. But I love these colors. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just very, very different compared to the other ones we've gotten. It almost borderline is like Chaos Effect, having that splash of color on the back, on an otherwise muted body. These horns even are a little bit more vibrant with their sort of off yellow, off white, almost yellow sort of tint to them on the crest horns too. Attack wise, I've always loved the Primal Attack on the Triceratops. It lets you do some really cool things. Versus some of the other figures. I mean, you can really get some really nice natural movements. Of course, you get those roars too. But yeah, he can like move his head, rotate his head, which I think is always kind of cool too. So a lot of really cool stuff you can do with this guy with his Primal Attack action, which kids probably really have a good time with that. I know us collectors don't mess with that stuff as much, but it is really nice in this figure. I think the Primal Attack they did in 2020 is my favorite action feature yet over Dual Attack or anything else. I just like how you can do these like really cool natural motions. It just makes it more like a realistic dinosaur to be able to move it in realistic ways. But that's not new for this figure in any case. But really cool coloration on him. Again, just really fits with that whole animated vibe they're going for with Camp Cretaceous. But I know everyone is here probably to see one action figure reviewed, and that's the Baryonyx Grim. Yes, Baryonyx Grim, that's its name. We have not seen it in Camp Cretaceous yet, but from the season 2 trailer, we know Baryonyx is in it, and it seems like there's going to be at least one with a name, but probably 2 more with a name if some little leaks are to be believed. But yeah, this one's just very exciting because it has it's like our next named dinosaur after Bumpy and Toro and all that. And of course, it's going to be in Camp Cretaceous, where we know that for a fact because it was in the trailer. But explaining sort of the Camp Cretaceous branding here on the back. We have that mechanism demonstration again, showing how you can use the tail, which I can't wait to try. I have not tried it. I'll be trying it for the first time on camera. And then again, the mention of that map as well. So that is Baryonyx Grim in the package, but let's go ahead and get this one out because I can't wait to talk about it. So we'll just do a couple quick little snips here. Got it. And there is Baryonyx Grim. Before I go any further, I am going to try to take out one of these sticker things so you guys can see it. Okay, there it is. I'll take it out so everyone can take a look at it. But it's just a little tiny packet that comes with almost every Camp Cretaceous figure they've released this year. So if you're collecting figures, you've gotten quite a few of these in your collection now. I've lost count with how many this is for me. But it's basically just this little card artwork with characters on it, Toro, Camp Cretaceous logo. I remember when this was mind-blowing when we first got it because we had seen so little of Camp Cretaceous, but now we've all seen probably the first season at least. We have a little maze in here, a very simple maze. Places to put stickers, which are included. Stickers are actually really cool, really nice. You got Blue, Bumpy, T-Rex, Stegosaurus, and Toro. Kind of funny because Stegosaurus and T-Rex weren't even really in the first season, but we'll see. But yeah, there is Baryonyx Grim. Is this an all-new figure? Technically, it's not all new, but it's definitely a new figure. As far as retools go, we've gotten plenty of Baryonyx, which I do have the other Camp Cretaceous Baryonyx here for comparison's sake. Pretty much every Baryonyx we've gotten so far just has the biting action. This particular version doesn't have the electronics, but some of the earlier ones had roaring along with them too. But really, you just have this static figure with a mouth that is by default open that you can close with the button mechanism, right? This is from Camp Cretaceous as well, worth noting. But this one is a little bit different because it has, I believe it has a little bit more defined sculpt, if you ask me, maybe. And it also has a different action mechanism, which is primal attack, which I will demonstrate here first in a second. But yeah, I mean, that's the main difference as far as it goes. I did say the sculpt is a little bit different because I feel like holding it next to at least this version, this other version, like the details seem the details like the little ridges on the back seem way less defined, particularly along the spine. Like the spine of this Baryonyx doesn't have any bumps on it, whereas the spine, yeah, I mean, that's a different sculpt. I don't know if you can see that clearly on camera, but the body definitely has way more ridges on it, like an alligator. It's actually a little fatter of a figure, even for comparison's sake. It's just a little thicker, probably to house all those action mechanisms. So let's get at those. So you move the tail and it moves around. You go up and down, left and right, so you can kind of get like a little bit of like looking action, which is cool. And you can't twist it to make it do anything, but you can make it go up and down and side to side, which is pretty cool. Paired with the added articulation on that mouth there. So all the other figures have that mouth open by default, which for toy photographers is always sort of a trick to get it to close on camera, but this one is just posable close. You can literally just pose it. You can just close it or open it depending on what you want to do, which is a nice tiny little feature that us toy photographers and the like really kind of like that articulation. Of course, the articulation everywhere else is the same. You have the arms and the legs that move. Nothing crazy there. The tail on this one obviously moves in conjunction with the head and the neck. So but coloration wise, I really dig this. Like, it definitely has an alligator feel. It's got a waterline coloration. So what I mean by that is like it's almost colorized so that if it was, you know, in a freshwater lagoon sort of breaking the water, that the bottom underneath the water would be one color, the coloration on top above the water would be a different color, allowing it to be camouflaged in both areas. Kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, next to this Baryonyx, that's also from Camp Cretaceous, you can see they have sort of similar takes on the green. And I think there'll be a third figure with any luck that'll be a little bit different than even these, but it's cool to have all these Camp Cretaceous figures starting to you know, group up together, and hopefully when the show comes out, we'll really get an idea of you know, what role they play as characters. I did notice just now that the new Baryonyx has its toenails painted, whereas this one that comes with the Target set does not have its nails painted. Interesting, but a little bit added value to this guy. But yeah, I mean, also I feel like even the eye a little bit has a little bit more detail than you know, this eye on this Baryonyx is just got a simple iris on it. I don't know, maybe the iris is just a little bigger on Grim. It just looks like he's got a little bit more life in him. But yeah, this is probably my favorite figure of this wave. I just love the coloration they did on it. I love the you know, the jaw that opens and closes. It's just a really cool addition. I know we were kind of flooded with Baryonyx in the Mattel line, but it's such a cool figure, a cool sculpt. I really don't mind it, and I really like this new version's coloration and new action features for sure. So pretty nice. But that is all three of the new Sound Strike figures from Mattel. Again, these are all released under the Camp Cretaceous banner. You know, probably for season 2. I would imagine that was what the timing of these three figures was supposed to be, but who knows if season 2 is supposed to come out, and maybe with Dominion getting delayed, they pushed it a little bit. We'll never know that kind of stuff, but in any case, more Camp Cretaceous toys have hit. Again, last wave for 2020 as far as Sound Strike goes. Anything else is going to be into 2021, which we don't know a whole lot about, but always a blast reviewing this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Please subscribe if you liked this. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in the next review.